Hey everybody, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get the achievement. We don't really like statistics here in Hearts of Iron 4. First thing we're going to do is organize the army. So, select all of your divisions and split them up into one full army group of 5 armies of 24 divisions, and then put your NKVD divisions into another army, and then have the NKVD divisions go to the border with Turkey, and the main army group go to the border with Romania, and then do the focus, the path of Marxism-Leninism. And for research, we're mainly going to focus on staying up to date with infantry equipment, industry, and then there will be some very specific stuff that I mentioned later on. And for industry, for the first couple of years, is just going to be focused on building civilian factories. And how I'm going to set up my military industry is 10 factories on infantry equipment, getting rid of the improved light tank production, and then we also need to replace our light tank divisions with motorized. Then put 5 factories on trucks, and finally put 5 factories on the fighters, and then 5 factories on the medium airframe, which is, I believe, strategic bombers, and then we'll set it up to be 15 on fighters and 10 on those strat bombers. And, of course, don't forget to trade, as you definitely want the best production possible. And I'd also recommend moving your Air Force over to Ukraine, as one of our first targets will be Romania. Then for your next focus, take the center. And now once you have 50 political power, justify on Turkey. And then for next focus, you want to do the Stalin constitution. Then when Turkey seizes the Bosphorus, you'll need to mobilize the army just so you get some extra war support. And you should make sure to have your army on the highest supply priority possible, and I would also recommend setting your occupation laws to civilian oversight. And our next focus will be Znovivite Terrorist Center. Then our next focus will be secure the administration. And then socialism in one country, and the collectivization process. And by around October 1936, you should be able to switch over to war economy, and then also move your conscription law up to limited conscription. And now we're going to declare war on Turkey, and Romania should join Turkey, and this is where your Air Force comes in, because you're first going to take out Romania, and then move down to Turkey. And I would recommend micromanaging both of these wars, as you probably don't want to lose a whole lot of equipment against these guys, since it might cost you later and make it take a lot longer for you to build up against the Germans. Also, create an agency, since you'll need to create a collaborationist government against the Germans. For armor technologies, you actually only need to research 3 technologies, and those technologies are right here. Also, I would recommend hiring the popular figurehead for extra stability. And for our next focus, we are going to do the anti-Soviet Trotskyist Center, which is the next purge. And then for our artillery technology, the really necessary ones will be shown up on screen, and these are mainly just so we can make some decent medium tanks that are cheap to produce. Next, we're going to do the workers' dictatorship. Then centralization and discipline, and after that, war economy. And in the peace deal with Romania, take Bessarabia and then puppet the rest. This is so you have a buffer state and you don't have to fight on a really, really long border with the Axis later on. Now you'll need to move your army over to Turkey in order to, defeat them. But in the meantime, while you do war economy, don't capitulate Turkey too quickly, as you'll get a stability hit if you do. And move your air force over to the Caucasus in order to get close air support bonuses against the Turkish troops by putting your air force over Asia Minor. And for our next focus, we are going to do the military conspiracy, and we'll just be one purge away from finishing the Great Purge. And also for the German-Soviet treaty, agree to it because you will need that extra research bonus to tanks and some other stuff. Also, you can take down Turkey after war economy is finished, and you should have encircled enough of their troops where you can just roll through them. Then we're going to do Behead the Snake, which will give you an extra operative, and I would also recommend starting to build a spy network in Germany and then hiring the elusive gentleman to get yet another spy. And after 60 days, you should have 3 spies. And in the peace deal with Turkey, puppet Kurdistan and then puppet Turkey. And after that, you should move your NKVD divisions to the border with Japan that you have, the very small one with Korea, not with Manchukuo, and then put 72 of your main army group on the border with Poland, and then put 2 armies on the border with Finland. And here are the basic fighter and basic close air support templates that I used, since I wanted to get an edge on Germany while we were unable to produce the really, really strong airplanes that you get in like 1941 and 1943. So these are the ones that you'll want to produce as soon as possible after the war with Turkey and Romania ends, where you should have enough air experience to change the templates around like this. Then for your next focus, do heavy industry. And don't forget to give your generals traits, as you might get a general that gets infantry expert from the war. Romania and Turkey, which will allow you to hire an infantry expert as one of your high command in the military, and that's just a really nice bonus to have. And I'd also recommend hiring the army regrouping expert if you have him. Then do infrastructure effort. Then after infrastructure effort, finish the 5-year plan. Now, once your spy network in Germany gets to 100% by having all 3 of your spies build a spy network there, have 1 spy do a quiet intel network, and then have the other 2 spies build up the collaborationist government. Then, after the 5-year plan finishes, you want to do the block of rights and Trotskyists, and here on the screen is what you need for airplane technologies in order to build the really good airplanes that I use in most of my Soviet Union games. And once you have finished the purge, we're going to do the 3rd 5-year plan, and then after that we are going to do the comintern, Baltic security, and then claims in the Baltic. You also want to save up your political power in between these focuses so that you're able to demand all of the Baltics all at once instead of having to wait for political power. After doing claims in the Baltic, you'll want to do secure Leningrad, which will probably start the Winter War, and we're going to start building military factories now since it is almost 1939. And you should get all of the Baltic states since your military is significantly stronger than theirs. Then, after taking secure Leningrad, do claims on Poland, and then Finland should decline your demands, and also give Germany a memo. You don't want an early war with Germany, but Finland should refuse your demands, and then use that to declare war on Finland, and as long as you micromanage, you should be able to defeat them pretty easily. I ended up battle planning it, but either way is fine, just as long as you're careful with battle planning it, since you don't want to get the debuffs from the Winter War lasting too long, or you taking too many casualties from it. And if Finland offers peace, make sure to decline it, because you actually don't need this, but it would be nice to have Finland as a puppet, just as a buffer state towards the Axis whenever they took over Norway. For your next 2 focuses, we're going to do reorganize the PC of heavy industry and then industrial modernization. Also start putting more factories on infantry equipment. Put 15 on them by now, and in the peace deal with Finland, you'll take Karjala, and I believe Petsamo is the other one, and then puppet the rest of Finland. And then you'll want to delete your NKVD divisions, because they should have won the border conflict with Japan, and so you really no longer need them, as you can make some much better divisions just with the base default ones. So we're going to train 48 of those base default infantry divisions, and those 48 divisions will cover the border with Hungary. That will show up after you get eastern Poland. Also, around this time, you should start putting more factories onto your air, with 30 on fighters and 20 on close air support. And you'll want to obviously sign the treaty with Germany for the molotov-ribbentrop pact. And here is the medium tank design I used for our tank divisions that we're going to have later on. And you'll want to put 15 factories on those tank divisions. After industrial modernization finishes, we're going to want to do addressing internal affairs, expand the agitprop, and then positive heroism, which once positive heroism is done will allow you to hire the armor genius, and you should do that as soon as that focus finishes, because it is a very good bonus that you get on your tanks. Around this time, your 48 divisions that we were trading before should be finished, and so assign them to a separate field marshal, and obviously give them generals and stuff. And we'll want to, as I said before, set these divisions on your border with Hungary. In my case, since the Germans had defeated Poland, I could already put my divisions where they needed to be in a fallback line. Then after doing that, you're going to need to train 72 of those infantry divisions, and here's what I did for the setup of my medium tank divisions, which will be instrumental in getting this achievement. And then once you've finished making that template for the tanks, train 4 of those tank divisions. And I would recommend having them deploy in a different city than the 72 divisions. After you finish positive heroism, you're going to want to do these focuses for rehabilitating your military. And now on the screen, I'm going to show you the really good airplane templates that I use for my mid-game fighters and close air support as the Soviet Union against Germany. And these usually just shred through the German Air Force pretty easily. And I'd also I want to mention that you really need to pay attention to whether or not your troops are fully covering the border with Hungary, since I had a test game where that wasn't the case, and the Germans just marched right in through that tiny little gap left, because the frontline AI is stupid. Also, You should have enough military factories to have almost 50 factories on infantry equipment, meaning that it won't be very hard to stay equipped. And you should also start building airports on the border with Germany, just so that you have enough open spots for your air force. And now, once your 72 divisions and then the 4 tank divisions are finished, put them all into the 2nd Army group, except for the 4 tank divisions, and then have all of your divisions exercise and shift-click exercise on the train button so that they stop once they reach the max experience. And for your planes, I would recommend deploying the older planes in the Baltics, and then deploying the newer planes, which would be basic small airframe and then the improved small airframe. And there shouldn't be very many improved small airframe, as your original Air Force will have been upgraded to those already. And so the more updated planes will be in eastern Poland, and then the older planes will be in the Baltics. And then shortly after that, Germany should declare war on you if your divisions aren't even close to getting to regular, whenever you're training them, and then you see that the icon comes up that Germany is justifying on you. Stop them from exercising, just so you don't immediately die when they declare war on you. And now, with your Air Force up, doing air superiority and close air support in eastern Poland and the Baltic states, you should be able to hold off the German attack pretty easily, as you should outnumber them, and you'll want to move your tanks into eastern Poland as well. And the main thing you're going to want to do for right now is just hold off the German attacks. And also, don't call any of your puppets in, because if you do, it will complicate the border quite a lot and remove the whole point of making those puppets, which was to have buffer states. And now, this is really how we're going to prevent ourselves from taking heavy losses. You're going to do micromanaging with those 4 tank divisions, and you should basically be able to defeat Germany with just those 4 tank divisions after their attacks calm down on your border. Now, be careful with them, as if you're not careful with those tank divisions, at least early on in the war, they will get encircled and killed. And then, well, that's quite a pain to rebuild them. You'll want to take over the German land, not based on just taking as much land as possible, but rather where your air force is at that moment. So if you want to attack Poland, or the Polish area, have your air force in that area and only attack there while your air force is supporting. And then, and I wouldn't recommend occupying the entirety of Poland. I would recommend mainly going for finishing off the eastern Poland airspace, then going for East Prussia, Danzig, that area, and then moving south to take Warsaw and maybe Lodz, so that you have some good supply, and then you can push into Germany with your tanks, and you can probably start micromanaging with your infantry at that point, allowing you to easily take down the Germans, as you won't need very many victory points to take them down. Also, I will have timestamps in the description, so if you want to just skip through the time-lapse of this war, you can by just clicking one of the timestamps in the description, or there should be chapters that allow you to do that a lot easier. Then, once Germany falls, you should have less than 1 million casualties, and the best way to ensure that you don't take a huge amount of casualties is don't battle plan. That's why we made the tanks and stuff, so that we could micromanage the entire war. And if you micromanage the entire war, you should get the achievement. We don't really like statistics here in Hearts of Iron 4. So, if you enjoyed this video, and if this helped you get the achievement, leave a like, a comment, whatever you want to do to show your support. And if you have any suggestions, or maybe somebody's having a problem in the comments, feel free to help them, as sometimes I get quite a lot of comments in a day, and other times I don't. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll see you all next time, and might actually be a Crusader Kings 3 video next time, so look forward to that. Ciao.
Winter came spring, all the birdies started to sing a song about the love of my life, yet I don't know where you are. Summer came fall, I recall your steps in the hall. Even though it's years since you left, you're right here in my heart. Dear Anna Jean, I just